Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. In today's tutorial, you are going to be learning how to draft, cut and sew a built-up neckline for kids dresses. Some people call it high neck collar, but it's still the same thing. And before we continue, my name is Esther, so welcome to Stitches by Esther. On this channel, you will learn a lot. You will learn clean finishing, you will learn tips that will help you step up your sewing game. So if you really want to change your sewing game or step it up, then subscribe to this channel. Always like our videos, share them, and hit the notification bell so that anytime we post any tutorial, you'll be the first person to see it. So let's get into the pattern drafting. So right now, we are going to be drafting out the pattern and we are going to start with the back. So you already know how to draft a basic bodice pattern for kids. If you don't know how to draft the pattern, you can check um, in our videos. We have a tutorial on how to draft a basic bodice for children. But in this tutorial, we are going to be dealing with the neck. We are going to be learning how to cut a built-up neck for children. So this is the back. This is the back. So the first thing you're going to do is draft your pattern. So the pattern is already drafted. So now we are going to the neck. So I'll be using a neck width of 2 inches and a neck depth of half an inch. Now if you look at, there is a standard for neck width and depth. You see for adults it's 3 by 3. Definitely you know for children it's going to be less. So this the neck width and depth I'm using is between children from 2 years to 6 years. This standard is okay for them. I've made dresses for children between 2 to 6 years. You can even go for less than 2 inches for 1 year, but I've not really done that, but it will work. So this is a standard between 2 to 6 years. This built up neck width and depth is okay for them. For the height of the collar, it's a choice. But when it comes to the width and the depth, this is a standard. So we are going to be inserting our measurements. So the neck depth, half an inch. This is our half an inch. And this is our 2 inches. This is 2 inches. Let me use the marker. I've marked 2 inches by half an inch. So I am going to create this curve. So when you do that, you are going to move towards the shoulder line. On this shoulder line, you are going to go out. This is the center part. This is our zip. Let's extend this to the zip. This is our zip. So we have taken the 2 inches width. So towards the shoulder slope, you are going to go outward by half an inch. So that's our half an inch. Sorry, I'm using pencil. Let me use my. That's our half an inch. Then you will now recreate the neck curve. So this is what we have. So this is all for the back. The back is very easy. And you are going to cut it out. So the next thing we're going to do is to go to the front now. But before you do that, you measure this neck curve. the neck, you're going to measure it because you'll be using it to construct the high collar. So here is 2 inches. The distance from here to here, you're going to measure it. Measure it and pen it down. So sorry, it's 2.5 inches. Now we are going to the front. Our neck distance for the back was 2.5 inches. You are going to write it down so that you will not forget. So the first thing you are going to do is just the same way you came towards the shoulder slope by 1/2 inch. You are still going to do that on the front. So you are going to come out towards this shoulder slope by 1/2 inch. By 1/2 inch. So from this 1/2 inch, you are going to go upwards. You are going to go upwards. Now, on this line, that is where you are going to insert your 2.5, the back neck that we measured. So we are going to insert our 2.5 here, the 2.5 that we measured as our back width. So at this point, you are going to come towards this shoulder slope by 1 inch. And then you are going to draw a straight line, both. You are going to draw it this way and then draw it halfway this way. You come in by 1/2 inch, you draw a straight line upwards, then you insert your neck with the back neck. You are going to insert it and mark it. At that point, you are going to come towards the shoulder slope by 1 inch and then cross and draw another line going down. So this thing is to guide us. We are trying to create the collar. So they are meant to guide us. So what you are going to do is at this point, at this very point, you are going to draw a straight line to meet this point. But sometimes it may not reach depending on the length of your back, the back neck. So we measured our back neck as 2.5 here. From here to here is 2.5. So we are now going to recreate it and take it from here to here. That's our back length. So you see mine did not reach at this point. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw this line before I'm going to mark it. Let me use biro so that you will understand. So, and I'm going to put the 2.5 for my neck right here. This is the 2.5 for my neck. So at this point, I just hope it's visible. At this point, I am going to measure 90 degrees towards the center front. 90 degrees towards the center front. Now, a lot of people have issue with this 90 degrees of a thing. So I brought this thing to show you. This, if you have it, if you don't have it, you can look for it. Or if you don't know how to measure 90 degrees, you can look for it. So you see that this is from the middle to any of the side is 90 degrees. From this side to this side is 120 degrees. Half of it is 90 degrees. So you are going to measure 90 degrees. For me, I have an easy way of doing it. I just carried it to show you. When you have a straight ruler, if you look at my ruler, this is L. It's already 90 degrees. So to make it easy for me, I take my ruler and I position it this way. It gives me 90 degrees. If you have this, you can just put it from the middle and make a mark on the 90 degrees. You can make a mark on this 90 degrees. Then when you finish, you take your ruler and draw it, whichever way will work for you. So this is my 90 degrees. So I hope this biro is visible. I just want people to understand it. So we came in by 1/2 inch at the shoulder slope and we drew a line straight up. This is to help us create the collar. So we drew a line straight up. On this line, we inserted our neck width, the back neck width, which was 2.5. From here to here gave me 2.5. So I came towards the shoulder slope by 1 inch. Then at this point, I measured a straight line. This line is to guide me to get my 90 degrees to create my collar. So at this point, I drew a straight line from here, meeting this first mark, the half inch that we came out at the shoulder slope. And on this line, I inserted a 2.5, which is my back length. And at this point, I measured 90 degrees upwards. So at this 90-degree line, you are going to decide the height of your collar. If you want the collar to be 2 inches, you insert 2 inches here. If you want the collar to be 1.5 inches, you're going to insert 1.5 inch here. So in my own case, I want my collar to be 1.5 inch. So I'm placing it here. So let me use, you have understood that, let me use my marker now. So I want my collar to be 1.5 inch. So this is my 1.5 inch. Then the same 1.5 inch you have measured here, you will come down to this point and also measure 1.5 inch. One and a half inch, and then you can now join the lines. So you can see this is our collar. I want to change this to red. I believe you've understood it. This is where we are going to be cutting. Let me use broken lines. This is our collar. So at this point, you can now decide how you are going to do the front. I didn't mark the front because we don't really need it. The neck depth here is not important. We may not use it. You can, just for you to understand, you can make it 3 to guide you. You can make it 3.5 and insert your neck width, but we don't really need it. What you need is the length of how deep you want your collar to be. So it's a thing of choice. So in this case, my own, there will be an opening to the waistline based on the style. So at this point, you are going to put your ruler and curve it. You can make it a curve like this, or you can make it as a straight curve. So personally, I would make mine like this. This is it. So at this place, you can add your zip allowance. When cutting, you are going to add all your allowances. Everybody should know that when you draft your pattern at the point of cutting, you add, if you did not add your allowance on the pattern, you are going to add your allowance while cutting. So for me, I want to add here, for you to understand, I will add 1 inch zipper allowance here. This is our 1 inch zipper allowance. So this is how we cut the built-up collar. So let me go over it again, a quick recap for you to understand it. First, I drafted out my pattern. I didn't put the neckline because it's not important, but you can, to make it easy for you, you can put the neck width and depth. I only worked on the width, so but you can put it, there's no problem. So after drafting my pattern, I created my shoulder slope. On this shoulder slope, at this point, I came towards the shoulder slope by 1/2 inch. And at this point, I measured a straight line upwards. On this straight line, I inserted my back length, the back length, that's my neck. So it was 2.5. I measured it and I wrote it here that you'll be needing it. So at this point, I inserted the 2.5. From this 2.5 mark, I came towards the shoulder by 1 inch and made a mark. And on the mark, I drew a straight line. Why did I do this? This is to guide me. The shoulder, it's not straight, it's going to be slanting. So I did this to create the slant, to guide me to create the collar. So when I came here, I marked 1 inch. I marked here and drew a line. At this meeting point, this place, I marked a straight line to this point. Then, on this line, I marked my shoulder with the 2.5 for my back bodies. I marked it here. And on this point, I created a 90-degree line. This is the 90 degree. The 90 degree, on this 90 degree, I'm going to insert the height of my collar. This is optional. You can choose to make it 2 inches, you can choose to make it 1 inch, but this is optional. Now for me, I chose 1.5. So this 1.5, I still measured it here. So I now connected the lines, and from there I decided the neck depth. Based on the style, there's going to be a net here, so I just drew a straight line downwards. Then the last thing I did was to add a zip allowance. If you had left 1 inch for your zip allowance on the back bodies, you add 1 inch. If you had left 2 inches, remember to add 2 inches. We are going to sew our zip and cover the zip inside. Our seam lines are not going to be visible. That's why I added half an inch. So we are going to cut out this pattern and then cut out on our fabric. I don't want this to fall apart, so usually what I will do is to staple them together. This is basically what I do, and you can still remove the pins when you need them. So at this point, I'm going to cut. So this is how we cut a built-up leg collar for kids. So we are going to take our fabric and cut it out now. So right now I have this damask fabric here that I'll be using. So I'm going to be cutting it out. Now remember to add sewing allowances where needed, especially when it was not added while drafting the pattern. So I'll be adding sewing allowances at the neck here, the armhole. So right now, as you can see, I did piping on my built-up collar. So this is what I've done. The dress is yet to be complete. I want you people to see the collar, see the zipping. This is how we have fixed the zip. So this is our built-up collar. Now, I want you guys to see from the inside too. As you can see, you can choose to pipe and you can choose not to pipe. And pipe is in a tin of choice. I just wanted to add piping to mine, but it's not a must. You can leave yours. So this is the inside. This is the inside. This is how it looks like. And you can see the beauty. Here there's an illusion net. I added an illusion net. Looking at the picture on our thumbnails, you can see. So this is our built-up collar. So we're going to complete it and wear it on a dummy for you to see. So this is it.